This week on Chuckload of Comics, we're giving you a full review of the new Venom movie. We get the first images of the upcoming Pet Sematary, and we are reviewing one of the funniest comic books ever written. All that plus New York ComicCon trailers right here on Chuckload of Comics. Hey guys, welcome to Chuckload of Comics, another massive week in the world of fandom, guys. Look at that sidebar. New York ComicCon's going on. We have been inundated with trailers. We've got first images from some seriously hot upcoming films. But let's start, as we always do, with Ace ComicCon.
That's right.
We promise you guys online details on the Infinity Feud game show that we're going to be doing. Ace ComicCon's only like 5 days away.
I know, it's so close.
It's right around the corner. We've been talking about it for months. Sunday, Chuckload of Comics is going to be doing a game show live on the main stage.
That's right.
End of the day, we're closing out the Sunday. It's called Infinity Feud. If you want to play, click that subscribe button. This is what you got to do if you want to register to be in the Infinity Feud game. Be on stage with us. Just click the subscribe button, then come find us at Ace ComicCon. Mm-hmm. Our booth is located just next to the small stage.
That's right.
We're going to have a big
1001.
booth. 1001. We're going to be very easy to find. We're going to have a really big presence at Ace ComicCon. So, to recap, click the subscribe button, come find us at the booth if you want to get on stage and play. It's as simple as that. What this Infinity Feud thing is, it's just a 4-round game show. 4 rounds of trivia. Topics like MCU, DC, Star Wars, comic book knowledge. We've got a round with a spinning wheel of categories.
So cool.
We've got a round where you have to collect Infinity Stones in your glove. Mm-hmm. So in every single round, you win prizes. So guys, please click the subscribe button. Be on stage with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're picking 12 viewers to get on stage with us Sunday night. We're closing out the show Sunday night.
It's great.
So, click the subscribe button, come find us at our booth, and we'll see you at Ace ComicCon this weekend, October 12th through the 14th at Navy Pier.
So awesome.
Speaking of Ace ComicCon,
yes,
one very famous person who's going to be at Ace ComicCon is Mr. Chris Evans.
That's right.
The nerd community has been going nuts about Chris Evans this week.
Absolutely.
Why? We all know why. Because of his tweet. He finished wrapping all of his filming on Avengers 4. Mm-hmm. And he wrapped up by saying this on Twitter. He said, officially wrapped on Avengers 4. It was an emotional day, to say the least. Playing this role over the last 8 years has been an honor. To everyone in front of the camera, behind the camera, and in the audience, thank you for all the memories. Eternally grateful.
What does that mean,
That
people?
sounds like a goodbye.
It sounds like a goodbye.
That sounds like a serious goodbye, but it's
really
not. It's not an official goodbye. Obviously, everybody out there is thinking, okay, this means Cap is going to die.
Yeah.
I differ. I have a different opinion on this whole thing.
What's your opinion, Chuck?
Well, I mean, it's not like Chris Evans to just up and spoil the plot of Avengers 4. If Cap actually died, and that was a big part of the film, Chris Evans would not go online and just spoil the ending for everybody.
No, you're right. You're right.
Number one, also we know his contract is up after this film.
Sure.
So of course he's going to say goodbye. He's in the middle of contract negotiation.
Okay.
What's he going to say? Can't wait to do another one. It's like, you can't. Your contract's up. He's in the middle of a contract negotiation.
Right.
This tweet makes perfect sense. He's going to say a goodbye, but I don't think it necessarily means Cap is going to die. Okay. Now, Shauna, should Cap die in this film is what I'm asking you.
Okay.
What do you think? Should Cap die?
Should Cap die?
Have we seen
I think we're set, though.
Is it time to pass the torch?
I think it's completely time to pass the torch. We've got Captain Marvel coming out. We have all these amazing new characters with Black Panther and, I mean, even Bucky. I mean, you have Bucky, who was Captain America in the comics. Right. So
Falcon could take up the shield, which I would love to see. I would absolutely love to see Falcon take up the shield as Captain America.
Or Bucky.
And like you were saying, Bucky, we hadn't had any standalone Bucky Barnes. We did have Winter Soldier, but I mean, that was more of a Captain America movie.
True. Right.
But yeah, with they still have Doctor Strange 2, and they've got Black Panther 2, and they've got all the Captain Marvel, and everything going on in the intergalactic universe in Phase 4. You got the Fantastic Four potentially coming, the X-Men.
And you have Guardians of the Galaxy that lead you into any beyond that you would want to go to. So
exactly. If he doesn't die. And just by reading this doesn't mean Cap's going to die, people. It doesn't. But if he dies, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I think it's time to pass the torch
I agree.
I keep him on the back burner. I honestly do not think he's going to die.
Okay.
But he is going to just walk away, pass the shield on to somebody else.
Right, but with all the Infinity Stones in play, we have alternate realities, we have alternate time and space. So many things could go on. So,
Although it would be nice to see him die and see him reunited with Peggy Carter up in heaven.
Aw, that would be cool.
That would be a very, very fun ending to him.
I like that.
Die. He sees Peggy in the distance, like Braveheart. Peggy comes walking out of the crowd.
Kind of like that.
It's just, if nothing else, it's got me more excited about Avengers 4. Like, I needed any more excitement for Avengers 4.
Right?
So that was the big news, guys. I'm sure you've all talked about it. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Is Cap going to die? Does this make you think Cap's going to die? Or should Cap die?
Maybe he'll tell us at Ace ComicCon.
Come to Ace ComicCon and ask a question. That's going to be a big topic of conversation, I think, at Ace ComicCon. Yeah. His panel is Saturday. So go on to Ace, see the Chris Evans panel on Saturday. Other massive news in the world of movies today, guys. We got our first images of some really big upcoming projects. The first one is Pet Sematary.
Oh my goodness.
Our first images of the Pet Sematary movie. We're in like a Stephen King resurgence right now. Everywhere you look is a Stephen King movie, a Stephen King television show.
I agree. I love Stephen King. I was born and raised on reading Stephen King books, and I'm just so excited about this resurgence because I grew up with all the made-for-TV movies on his books, and now here we are with Pet Sematary coming out. We had It last year, which is amazing.
It Chapter 2. Dr. Sleep comes out next year.
Oh my gosh.
Dark Tower, whether you loved it or hate it, that was a big deal. You got Castle Rock on Hulu.
Yep.
You got Gerald's Game on Netflix. Man, everywhere you look, there is a Stephen King thing. So let's talk about this Pet Sematary. Let's go through some of these images. This was huge. I didn't even know this was coming. It came from Entertainment Weekly. This first image that we see is a production image.
Yep.
I love production images. You got John Lithgow and Jason Clarke sitting here with the director talking about stuff. I think they're sitting in Judd's house.
Yeah.
It looks like Judd's house has got a deer on the wall and stuff.
Did we even go into Judd's house?
Oh, yeah.
Original? We did.
Oh, yeah. That's where he got his ankle slashed by
that's right.
By little Gage. So that's a really cool shot. This next shot that came up, I love. You've got Judd with little Ellie. I guess burying church. This is our first look of what the Pet Sematary is going to look like. You can see in the background there's a little statue of a cat.
I know.
And there's it look like it's a little birdhouse in the background. Right? Wonderful shot. The girl that they cast as Ellie looks really good. She's got this creepy kind of vibe to her a little bit. Because in the book she's very kind of psychic. She has a psychic connection to Pascal and to other people. I think she shines a little bit. For all you Stephen King fans. John Lithgow is Judd. I just got to say, what amazing casting. Fantastic casting. John Lithgow can do no wrong. If you watch The Crown, I mean, just everything that guy does is absolute gold. When he was in Dexter season 3,
Raising Cain.
I was so excited when I saw that they were casting John Lithgow as Judd. Now, this next photo, classic Pet Sematary photo right here. You got Jason Creed, or I'm sorry, Lewis Creed and Judd.
Lithgow. Yep.
What's in the bag? I'll tell you who's in the bag. The cat's in the bag. Church is in the bag. This is them digging up Church, taking him to the Indian burial ground to bury the cat. You've all seen Pet Sematary, but this is a great shot.
I agree.
You got the fog in the background, the fog on the ground. This movie's going to be really creepy. I think this movie is going to give it a run for its money.
I know.
It just these photos look so creepy, and we haven't even seen Zelda yet.
Right? And hopefully they don't show us Zelda.
Good point. I hope they don't show us Zelda until the movie comes out.
I
Don't
agree.
ruin that scare.
Thank you.
That is, I don't want to see Pascal, and I don't want to see Zelda. Save that for the movie. Just show stuff like this.
Yep.
That'll absolutely put asses in the seats. Next picture. I love this picture. Family at the table, but the dad, Lewis Creed. I think this is when they just got back from burying Church. Maybe this is just when Church comes back from the dead. He clearly has something on his mind.
Right.
While the family's sitting around the table, you got Gage and Ellie and the wife just having a good old time. But look at the look
at
on
little
his face.
Gage, though.
Look at little Gage.
Perfect casting yet again. He looks perfect. He's a perfect little creepy kid.
Yes, I know. I love this shot, man. So much is going on. This shot just speaks volumes. Absolute volumes. Next photo. Oh, there it is.
Oh,
that's the money shot. This is a cat who just dragged himself out of a grave.
Love it.
God, they found a creepy, scary cat, and I just love how
right?
dingy he is. He clearly just dragged himself out of the Indian burial ground.
So cool.
He's ready to just lay waste on all the rats in the
Love it.
in the town.
Love it.
Love it. Absolutely love this cat. And I like that it's a mangier cat than what you saw in the first movie.
Yep.
That cat looks so pissed.
I know.
That's a mean-ass looking cat.
I can't wait for this movie. I'm so excited. At first, when I heard they were remaking Pet Sematary, I was a little bit disappointed because I'm a huge Stephen King fan, but they remade it and killed it. Now they're remaking Pet Sematary, and this, from these shots, looks like they're going to kill it.
Yes,
So I'm super excited.
Next photo is Gage and the mother. I can't remember her name, but I don't know what this is. This is just Gage. I don't know. Maybe she just woke up from a nightmare about Zelda, and she goes to clutch her kid. Maybe she has a nightmare. Maybe.
About right.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe because this doesn't look like crazy Gage. This doesn't look like Back from the Dead Gage.
It looks
Back
like
from the
scared
Dead.
Gage.
It's looks like maybe Gage had a nightmare.
Yeah.
About a cat? I don't know. Maybe Gage is having a nightmare, and she's. Speaking of crazy cats, our cat's over here making a lot of noise. Next picture, final picture, I think, is the classic picture. This is the movie poster picture right here. This is the Pet Sematary shot. Looks really great. Wonderful color. Looks very creepy, very scary.
Oh my God. So awesome.
And that's it, guys. That's the first look at Pet Sematary. The movie comes out in 2019, I think right around maybe October.
So does It too, right?
No, I think It too comes out in 2020.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is our Stephen King fix for 2019. Get excited. It looks
cool.
absolutely fantastic.
I can't wait.
I'm so stoked.
I am so stoked.
As if that wasn't enough, another major photo that we got today. I don't know, Shauna, have you seen the photo from The Mandalorian?
No, I have
I'm going to try to pull it up here real quick.
Can you show me the photo from The Mandalorian?
I'm going to try.
And The Mandalorian, if I, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be the new Star Wars series on Disney.
This is Jon Favreau's produced Star Wars. It's the first ever live-action Star Wars television series. It's never been done before.
Oh my
And it's the Mandalorian. Who's the Mandalorian? Mandalore is the planet that Boba Fett comes from. And you can tell from this photo, the guy's clearly wearing a Boba Fett style hat, helmet.
Look at that photo!
It looks great. This looks. If you want a little bit of a synopsis on what the show is going to be, Jon Favreau tweeted this right here. He says, "The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order." That's exciting right there. He goes on to write,
my God.
"We follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic."
Are you
So this is going to be a Western.
This is going to be great.
You can tell just by what he wrote. This just feels like one of those classic Clint Eastwood Westerns. And if you look at this photo, it just looks like a Western. It looks like a lone gunman.
It does.
He even calls it, he says in his little synopsis, lone gunfighter
Oh my God.
in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic. So this is just going to be out. This is going to just be a pirate story, a cowboy's tale.
Insane.
Very excited. Right after the fall of the Empire and before the rise of the New Order.
So
it
what
takes
you're
place-
telling me is that now I have to subscribe to Disney's streaming service as well as Netflix. And
Yeah,
Amazon
I think so.
Prime.
We got to watch this.
Oh my gosh, this looks so cool.
If this
though.
picture isn't enough to get you to want to subscribe to the Disney streaming service, the directors for this upcoming series are going to blow your mind. Jon Favreau is obviously producing it. He's producing it with Kathleen Kennedy. The directors, they gave a whole list, and I'm only going to list off a couple of them, but the guy who's directing the pilot is Dave Filoni. The Dave Filoni, the creator of the Clone Wars, the creator of Star Wars Rebels. The guy knows his Star Wars stuff, and he does amazing stuff with the Disney animated stuff. You all know who Dave Filoni is. This is his first ever live-action directorial debut. Jon Favreau was such a genius for letting Dave Filoni direct this pilot episode. Later episodes will be directed by Taika Waititi.
What?
He recruited Taika Waititi of Thor Ragnarok fame.
And What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows, and
man.
the upcoming follow-up of What We Do in the Shadows.
Wow.
Taika Waititi's going to direct an episode. The director of Jessica Jones, Deborah Chow.
Wow.
Female director, fantastic. He's recruited a ton of directors to direct these episodes. I'm so excited about this.
Jon Favreau, you did the Lord's work. Thank you.
He's doing the Lord's work over at the Disney streaming service. I'm way more excited about the Disney streaming service than I am the DC streaming service. And I'm just going to go out there and say it.
Okay.
Because shots like this is going to be
I agree.
like a Game of Thrones budgeted Star Wars show every single week.
Yes!
It's not going to be low budget, man. This is going to be like top dollar stuff.
Look at that picture. picture. It's so
for the picture
amazing.
alone, in the list of directors, they are dumping
gosh.
all the money at this show, and I think it's going to pay off
All
big
the
time.
money.
Very, very excited. So that's Pet Sematary and the Mandalorian photos. And as if that wasn't enough, this is the week of New York ComicCon.
Right?
We have been inundated with trailers this week. Tons and tons of amazing movie trailers have come down. Okay, guys. I promised
yourself.
you a Hellboy trailer.
I know,
Here's
right?
the latest Hellboy update. Today, they had the Hellboy panel. They did not show a trailer.
Right.
They showed footage of the movie. They are not releasing this footage to the public. I could have sworn they were going to show a trailer. I thought for sure Saturday the world was going to see the first Hellboy trailer. But they didn't do it. They showed footage. There are reviews. There's footage reviews on YouTube you can go check out. I haven't watched them yet. But if the poster is any indication, I think the movie's going to be absolutely fantastic. The poster that they dropped was mind-bogglingly awesome.
Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. But let's talk about what we did see this week. We saw trailers for Vice. We saw a full-length trailer for Daredevil. We saw the final trailer for Overlord. We saw a 5.5-minute clip of Aquaman. We saw the second trailer for Mortal Engines, which I think was much better than the first trailer for Mortal Engines. We saw the second and final trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was so hilariously amazing.
It was good.
We saw some trailers for Kevin Hart's movie, The
The Upside.
Upside.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful trailer.
agree.
The trailer for The Mule. Clint Eastwood filmed The Mule, where he plays a drug mule.
Love Clint Eastwood.
And that's
Who
what we've
doesn't?
seen so far. There's still going to be more trailers that drop tonight. There's still going to be more trailers that drop tomorrow, because we're shooting the show on Saturday. Shauna, of all of those, which one knocked your socks off the most?
You know what actually knocked my socks off the most was Vice. I was blown away. I had no idea that Christian Bale was playing Dick Cheney in a movie. And I saw this trailer and my mind was blown. He portrays Dick Cheney like no other. And then you have, what's his name?
Sam Rockwell?
Sam Rockwell playing George W. Bush.
Sam Rockwell as George W. Bush was a
my
treat.
God.
That was
this
incredible.
Trailer is amazing. I'm so looking forward to it. It's cut and it's written by the same guy that did
He did The Big Short.
The Big Short, thank
Yep.
you. And it looks just like The Big Short. It looks like it's all cut and edited just the same way.
The cast of
I'm so
characters
excited.
in Vice is amazing. If you guys haven't checked out the Vice trailer, click on it right now. It's absolutely spectacular. Seeing Sam Rockwell as George Bush.
I know, it's great.
Way better than Josh Brolin's George Bush,
No
in my
offense,
opinion.
Josh Brolin, but yeah, Sam Rockwell kind of killed it.
Yeah, it looks great. And it shows, just this was a historic moment in American history. Up until this point, the vice presidency was merely a title just for show.
Yep.
The vice president didn't do squat until Dick Cheney came around, until the Bush administration, where he was like, you know what, I'm just going to let you run all the public affairs of the country.
Yeah.
You be in charge of. I'm not a political guy, but he gave way more power to the vice presidency, and this movie is going to draw all that out.
And I hate to admit it, but I'm completely naive of that era. Like, I had no idea how much power that Dick Cheney had. So I'm kind of excited to see this movie. I know it's not going to be historically accurate, but it's going to give me some insight into what actually really happened. So
And
I'm
it's
really
from a
excited
trailer
for it.
standpoint, it was a spectacularly cut trailer.
Oh my God,
Amazingly
amazing.
cut trailer. It's probably one of the best trailers of the week. But that Aquaman footage, man, that 5.5-minute Aquaman got me excited for the first time about Aquaman.
Finally.
I did not particularly care for the first Aquaman trailer. I didn't like it.
Agreed.
I didn't like where the CG was at. I didn't like the way they cut the trailer. I didn't like all the yeehaws that were cut into it. It just seemed very kind of, I don't know. It just wasn't my favorite trailer. I know you guys all loved it.
Sure.
I didn't really dig on it, but this 5.5-minute clip got me on board. I am on the shark. I am in. I'm down. I'm
Are we
down
on the shark
for
or the
Aquaman.
seahorse?
Oh my God. I'm all right. Seahorse, fine.
I think we're on the seahorse.
I'll be on the seahorse. It looks spectacular. If you're not wanting to see like long pieces of footage, spoilers for the movie, I wouldn't recommend watching it because they show you entire scenes of the film.
It's 5
this
minutes long.
amazing chase scene across the rooftops with Black Manta chasing down Mera and Aquaman. That's an incredible scene. There's some really hilarious stuff with Jason Momoa in it. I'm on board with the Jason Momoa funny stuff.
I love it.
Oh man, that was so badass. They were all great. Overlord second trailer was fantastic. Overlord, by the way, guys, is getting spectacular first reviews.
Yes, thank goodness.
They've already showed the film to some critics, and it's getting spectacular reviews. They're overwhelmingly positive for this very nuts movie.
Because Because I love J.J. Abrams, so bring it, J.J.
The end of the Spider-Verse trailer was dope. You saw a lot of Spider-Ham. You got to see Gwen Stacy take her mask off. The way they illustrated her looks actually spectacular. Her voice is really cool. You see tons of stuff. You get to see all kinds of stuff. You see Kingpin actually speak for the first time.
Yep.
The voice for Kingpin is, what's his name from...
Ooh, I can't remember.
Oh, what's his name from that Showtime show? Ray Donovan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, him,
Yeah.
Ray Donovan.
Yep. He's doing the voice of Kingpin. Yeah, so that looks
Sorry,
spectacular.
Ray,
Guys, all the
Ray.
trailers were great. I love Comic-Con weekend. Whether it's New York, whether it's San Diego, whether it's Chicago.
I know.
Saw some
Any
amazing
Comic-Con
stuff. Leave us in the
amazing.
comments. Let us know what you think your favorite trailer was from New York Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because they were all spectacular.
Yeah. Speaking of Spider-Verse, though, we got to see this really cool clip of Spider-Verse at the end of the awesome movie that we saw this weekend, which critics are hating.
Venom.
What is that movie, Chuck?
Venom. Let's talk about Venom for a
Let's
second.
talk about Venom.
Venom, the Ruben Fleischer directed film that is not getting great positive buzz. Ruben Fleischer, you guys know, did Zombieland.
Uh-huh.
I know you're all Zombieland fans out there, man. Well,
Absolutely.
okay, before I give you my thoughts on it, let me just tell you a little bit something about it. It's currently sitting at like a 30-something from critics on Rotten Tomatoes,
Yep.
but if you look at the viewer ratings, it's at like an 89.
89%.
89.
People.
That means
89.
viewers, fans are really digging this film. Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Riz Ahmed were really good in this movie.
Killed it.
There's my cat.
He's
He's
coming
got
on
to
the
chime
table.
in. Walter, sorry guys, we're being slightly interrupted by the cat here.
But anyway, as Chuck was saying,
Let's talk about Venom. Get out of here, cat.
Venom I had the best time at the movies last night. We went and saw Venom, and I thought it was absolutely amazing.
I
don't
really,
know
really
what
liked
these
it.
critics are talking about. 'Cause
Well, okay, so believe what the movie you see in the trailer is not the movie you get.
I
Let me just
agree
start out
with
by saying that.
Yep.
But that's not a bad thing.
No,
the way the
not at
trailers
all.
were cut, they cut
Yeah.
it, and all the pre-press of the thing is like, oh, it's going to be an R-rated horror. We're going to make this R-rated horror movie.
We know that
It
didn't
wasn't
happen.
that at
Yeah.
all. It was like it came in at a PG-13 rating.
Yep.
The trailers made it look like it was going to be this dark horror thriller.
Right.
It's not that.
No.
But
That's
what it
okay.
is spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, does it have its problems? Sure. If I had to pick out a couple of things, I'd say it was maybe a little bit slow in the beginning. It took a long while for Venom to come up.
Okay.
But that aside, the
The meat.
friendship
Yeah.
between Venom
Oh, it's so good.
and
Eddie
Brock was spectacular.
Yeah.
It was really, really great. Venom was just such a fun, lovable character. Every time
I
Venom
know.
spoke in Eddie's head was just hilarious and a couple times menacing. You know, when
Yeah.
you first saw him come out and say and eat that guy's head.
Yeah.
Every time he talks, like stuff you've seen in the trailer where he talks about, you know, lungs, pancreas, eyes, so many snacks, so little time. That was all spectacular. When
Yeah. I agree.
There's so much I can say about this film. I think everybody crushed it. Tom Hardy did a really good job. The accent didn't bother me one
Not
bit.
at all.
Michelle Williams was really fantastic.
Absolutely.
Riz Ahmed was great. Maybe if I had to pick one character who I thought could have been flushed out a little bit more, is probably Riz Ahmed's character.
Okay.
They did a good job
can
of
see
making him
that.
the villainous character, but they could have done a little bit more in the development of his character.
I think they cut a lot out, though. You can see that, like, this is probably one of the first movies that I've ever said you could make it a little bit longer.
It could have been a little longer.
Like,
It
there's
chimed in
some
at about an
scenes-
hour and a half.
Yeah, and there's some scenes that you know were filmed and that maybe could have been in there and
Yeah.
weren't.
Yeah.
This is probably, like I said, this is probably the first movie I've ever said that to, where I could see more.
I know. I walked out and I was
I
like,
could make it
well, I
longer.
could have used 15 minutes
Yeah.
more of that movie. I
Yeah.
could have used more of Venom. And there's a lot of Venom. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a ton of good, great stuff. But
Yeah.
it just leaves you wanting more, and that's a good thing. And speaking of leaving you wanting more, the post-credit sequence, stick around for the first post-credit sequence.
Yes.
The second post-credit sequence is about a 10-minute clip of Into the Spider-Verse. Which you got to see.
Which
It's
is
badass.
awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It looks wonderful.
Yep.
But the first post-credit sequence is worth your money. That's worth your ticket price right there. I'm not going to say anything about it, but stick around for the first post-credits sequence. It's fantastic. So yeah, screw you critics.
Right?
You totally missed the mark on this one.
You guys suck.
I loved this movie.
The movie was great.
My 72-year-old mother loved this movie.
Exactly.
We went out to Navy Pier and saw it in IMAX screens. If you have a chance to see it in IMAX or Dolby, definitely do it. Because the audio in this thing is great. The visual effects, I thought, were fantastic. Some critics are saying the visual effects weren't so good. I thought they were spectacular. I thought the characters were great. You got to see people in space. There were fun little nods to the comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throughout the film. I thought the design of Venom was great. Way better than the design we saw for Venom in Spider-Man 3.
Yes,
that goes without saying. You could probably see that from the trailer.
Yep.
Yeah. It was great, guys. It's crushing at the box office. I know we're rambling about Venom right now, but it's doing great. We wanted Venom to come in at least $50 million opening weekend, maybe even 60.
Yeah, apparently
it broke the record for Thursday night tease releases at $10 million. It made $10 million on Thursday.
Thank goodness.
So that's a very limited. They probably only showed it 2 times a day in limited screens. Thursday broke the October record for Thursday views, and it's on par to break the October record for opening domestic gross, beating out Gravity. Friday, it made $32 million. So going into Saturday, it's at $42 million.
It's fantastic.
Not even counting Saturday, not even counting Sunday.
And their original projection was 40 to 50, right? So hopefully this is beating their original projection. So
and it's up against a movie that's crushing it, an Oscar contender. What's it called? A Star is Born.
A Star is Born.
Yeah. So
Which we also
way to go,
see.
Venom, man.
Hey, buddy.
So let's talk about some comic books, guys.
Comic books?
I've been wanting to talk about this book for the longest time. We started reading this book right here. It's called God Hates Astronauts. It's by a genius comic book creator, Mr. Ryan Brown.
Who is actually a local.
He's a Chicago native.
Chicago native.
We've met Ryan Brown. We've talked to him. We've interviewed him on the show before. Amazingly awesome, quirky, crazy dude.
Yep.
We've been reading this book. We started reading it a few years ago. It wrapped up a few years ago. The book's called God Hates Astronauts.
Yes.
What it's about, before we tell you all about Ryan Brown and all his awesomeness, it's about a group of very ragtag, very out there, zany cast of superhero characters called Power Persons 5.
Yep.
It's hard to describe this book.
It really is.
It's the funniest book you've ever seen. It's the funniest book you've ever read. Drop your money, buy all the trades of God Hates Astronauts.
And so Ryan Brown wrote and illustrated and colored all of these books, and he's also been highly supported by Charles Soule. So if you're a Charles Soule fan,
Charles Soule, it gets the soul of approval.
Yes.
This one. God, it's like so much you can say about it. It goes intergalactic. It goes just the characters. It's a hard book to describe, but it's about a group, Power Persons 5, that get into all kinds of crazy adventures and get into all kinds of trouble. Limbs get ripped off. Dinosaurs get introduced. Let's talk about this book right here, because the whole synopsis is really hard to get into. What we want to talk about is he recently did a Kickstarter. The book wrapped up a couple years ago. Ryan Brown had to take a break. He said, this is just killing me. All the writing, all the illustration, all the pimping of my book all over the world. It was an image book. But man, it takes a lot of work to make your own book month after month after month after month. And it was hurting him, so he stopped doing it. Until recently. This year, he did a Kickstarter for this killer hardcover book. It's The Return of God Hates Astronauts. We talked to him about that. We were Kickstarter subscribers. As soon as we heard about it, we instantly gave him our money. He was like, yes, give me this one. It's a hardcover book. Where this book picks up, all you God Hates Astronauts fans, it is your narrator,
3D Cowboy.
3D Cowboy is in jail. He's in prison after the events of the final issue of God Hates Astronauts. His son, 3D Millennial, comes to visit him in prison. And so 3D Cowboy decides to tell his no-good son some stories because he wants him to go into the narrating business. Am I painting a good picture? 3D Cowboy's a narrator, and
Ryan
he loves
Brown,
narrating
you're a genius.
stuff. So the whole book is basically 3D Cowboy, the narrator, telling his son, 3D Millennial, stories, narrating stories. So it's kind of an anthology book. It's a lot of different stories that tell you the stories of other characters in the God Hates Astronauts universe.
So awesome.
I don't feel like I'm doing this book justice, guys, because it's spectacular. It's so hilarious. It's the funny book ever. read reviews about it, because this one is not a good review.
It's a great review. But if you also love Ryan Brown, they're also still doing the ongoing series Curse Words with Charles Soule. So Ryan Brown and Charles Soule are writing that book, and it's also amazing. So, but you gotta see Ryan Brown's original work. God Hates Astronauts, amazing.
It's available on trade paperback. Pick it up. Go to your local comic book store. Pick up God Hates Astronauts. You will not regret it. You'll open the first page of the first
you will die laughing.
Trade, and you're just absolutely gonna plots. You're gonna laugh so hard. It's so good. Ryan, thank you so much for making this hardcover. Thanks for doing the Kickstarter. Thanks for sending it out so quickly. It's actually a really gorgeously printed book.
And he gave us bookmarks. Thank you.
And he gave us a sticker, and he gave us a bookmark. Couldn't appreciate that more. So give us more God Hates Astronauts, Ryan.
Please.
It's such a hard book to review because it's so incredible. It's so out there. You will not regret spending your money on God Hates Astronauts, I promise.
Not once.
Well, this was a big show, guys. I know. This one went on for a while. We had a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Huge week. Don't miss us at Ace Comic-Con. If you're still watching this show, find us. Our booth is going to be massive. We're going to have a big presence. Come up, talk to us. Let's talk about stuff. We're going to be doing this show, Chuckload of Comics, live on stage on day 1 on Friday night, and then catch us on Sunday night for the Infinity Feud Challenge. If you want to play the Infinity Feud game show, click the subscribe button and come find us at our booth. Man, it's mouthful.
Yeah, it's so
big
awesome.
Show. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. We're here every single Sunday doing comic book reviews, movie talk, nerd news, all the things happening in the world of fandom. Find us here every single Sunday. Click the subscribe button. Join the Chuckload of Comics family. And have a fantastic week. We'll see you here from Ace Comic-Con next week.
Bye-bye.